Thank you, members of the media, and coach, for the guest from Uganda.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you, coach, for making the time, members of the media. Coach, just from your side to sum up of the game, which made an upset, it was dominant and there was an expectation for you to.
Oh.
You were not unlike he says.
Oh. Yeah, no, thanks. Good evening to members of the media. Congratulations to this group. Congratulations to the technical team, the coaches. Congratulations to the fans. I thought the turnout for a midweek game was very, very good. And congratulations to this group of players. Good performance today, good energy, good personality, and very happy with the performance and very happy with the result and the 3 points.
Any questions? Okay.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Khama.
Today we saw you give a runner to a lot of players that probably haven't been starting a lot of the games this season so far. One player that was missing from the bench, however, is Mamelodi. I just wanted to know what's his situation. Can we expect for him to participate in more first team action this season? With maybe the more competitive AFL stuff out the way.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of players missing from the bench. Marcelo Allende was not on the bench. Lucas Ribeiro was not on the bench. Tamba Zwane was not on the bench. So that was Ronwen Williams was not on the bench. So we just decided it's based on performances. It's based also on giving opportunities sometimes to some of these squad players who we have in the team, and it's just based on the decisions. He's had his fair chances. He's a youngster. He's 16 years old. We've got to be very patient with him, and it's just a pity, that it's a season where I don't get to train them. Players like Mabena, even Tando Nkosi, Tando Buthelezi, these kids need training, and they need to get better by training. So it's just a pity that they don't get too much training. But his chances will come. He's still young, 16. He's got another 10 is 26, maybe another 20 years of football. So let's be patient with him and let's not rush him. Still needs a lot of coaching and a lot of work. But he's in good hands and amongst good company. So he'll develop very well.
Yes, Shoots. Coach, you just mentioned the turnout. On a lighter note to start here, Sundowns supporters no December. They say the only place we do Sundowns in December is on social media. but Coach, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I keep going back to before games. I watch your press conferences, and I keep going back to what you said when you took stock of what happened last season, when you were asked about rotation, you spoke about rotation actually killed momentum towards the end of the season with the Champions League, and now you want to give minutes on merit. I look at how the team played today. I just looked very good, especially in the first half. But when I looked at the stats, you only created one chance, but you scored 3 goals, so you might have outperformed your XG. Which, when you look at it, it looks very good. It's not numbers one. It still looks the same. Well, of course, you haven't really taken, but like from now, like where you're sitting now, what do you make of that type of performance?
It's difficult to say because I still need to watch. I've also promised the players because I made a lot of wrong judgments about the performances last season. So, for an example, I would get carried away by the scoreline, and I would give an impression, and then when I get home, I watch the game, and I'm like, my goodness, I'm not sure I was 100% accurate. So I try not to give judgment based on the 90 minutes live. I try to go home, be sober, watch without any emotional connotations. But we struggled last season with getting results and getting fluidity, and I thought today we were relatively fluid. I asked a couple of things from the players that were a bit difficult and a bit crazy, like Tapelo Morena played 3 positions today, Terence Mashoko played 3 positions today in 190 minutes, and I asked them to do certain things that we didn't necessarily train. We don't have training time. So I've got to be very proud of them, proud of this group of players for their efforts and their response, because I was also quite critical on with them about the performance, and as a team, as a team, because we win and we lose as a team, and I was quite critical of the last performance. In fact, of the last couple of performances with them, and today they did very, very well, we dominated the ball, we dominated the pitch, we played with very, very good energy. Structurally, I thought in certain moments we were very, very good, and we changed things. When we had Bongani Zungu, we played a bit different to when we had Grant and Rush, but I'm very proud of these players, and happy that with the rotation we had a good performance, and even again the opposition, we gave 0 chances, and this is the standard that we have to keep. We can't. There should be no compromise on this. So I'm happy that certain things that we've set as expectations, and we shouldn't get carried away. We shouldn't get carried away, because sometimes I get the feeling that we get carried away, like as a team, as a club, and everybody just gets carried away. We should stay. We should stay a little bit more humble, and respectful, And I thought today that's what we did. We respected the game, and we played football the way football requires it to be played. So very happy with that, and proud of the players.
Coach, how are you?
All right, and you?
Yes, Coach, football, I think today delivered one of his good performances, and also the goal. That is goal, I think, was one of the best goals. How are you keeping him grounded and focused, especially we know that of the field problems have delayed his progress. How are you keeping him focused and also delivering the same performance that he delivered today?
I treat him like all the other players that we have in the team. He has to fight for his place in the team. He has to earn the right to be on the pitch. And I said to him, if he continues from what he did against Pyramids when he came on as a sub, I thought he was very good. And if he continues like that, then he has a chance to play in the team, So he's good. He's a good person, Sometimes we don't know people, We artificialize the personalities based on what we hear, and sometimes these rumors, and sometimes you've got to know the person, and if you get a chance to know Sipho Mbule, you'll know the human being, and he's a great guy. He's a great person, and immensely talented, and I still think Sipho has got so much more potential, so much more. But I can say the same, like I say, for so many of these players. As Mkhulisi today was good. He was good against Amazulu, and today he was very, very good. It was good to see Dennis Onyango on the pitch. Roshin was very good, 0 mistake. Grant Kakana, once again, 0 mistake. So good on rest defense. Today, even very good leadership and organization. Grant again also, a lot of people, but the person, is for me these players, the one special thing about them is they're good people. Even Bongani Zungu comes in, so humble, so hardworking. He missed a pass. He missed a pass. They intercepted, and he tried to break the lines. And the first thing, I didn't even say anything. And the first thing I saw was him just doing this, And, so for me, these Lisibanku is trying and trying to get his groove back. Peter comes in as a sub. He does his best. He's pressing. He's running. So Terence was good, Tapelo was very good, Lebu Mabue was good today, very good. It's good to see that he also got an assist. So yeah, it's a collective effort, you know. Yeah, Sipho won man of the match, but without his teammates, without the rest of the team, it's not possible. So congratulations to the team and congratulations to him. But I think there's still a whole lot more from Sipho, a whole lot more.
Everyone from the left to the right, you'll ask your questions. You can start from the left.
Okay, thank you. Kotatsu from Open.
Sure, Kotatsu.
Coach, as you alluded to, you made a lot of subs like today in this game, and obviously you gave a lot of the players that don't get the regular game time. Was the position of Cape Town Spurs one of the reasons why you could make so many changes in the game? And also, I'm looking at the stats. I mean, you walk away with 76% ball position. By the end of the first half, it was like 79%. Is playing a team like Cape Town Spurs, with all due respect to them, a true reflection of the players that were given a game time today?
No, I don't. I don't play that game. Cape Town Spurs have 3 points, and you know where the 3 points comes from. They beat a big team. No, they beat the MTNA champions, you know. And when I analyze an opponent, I don't analyze an opponent based on the results. I analyze the opponent based on what I see, and then we try to put together with the coaches. We try to put together a strategy. And I've learned maybe in my relative, I was born into football, so I've learned that this game of football can humble you big time, and I've seen it do it so many times, you know. So Manchester City versus Aston Villa, dominant in possession, but what's the score? You know, these things happen. I watched Manchester United yesterday crash out of Champions League. And you can't say Manchester United is a small club, you know. But these things happen in football. If you start to take things for granted, you start to think you've arrived. This game of football will it's, you know. There's one description of the game that I love, and I always put it at the back of my head, and it comes from Marcelo Bielsa. He says, this game of football, unlike any other sport, if you go to boxing and you have the numbers behind you, you win. If you go to tennis, you have the numbers and the stats behind you, you win. You go to cricket, you have the numbers behind you, you win. Football is probably the only sport where you can have the numbers behind you and still lose. And that's the difference. So I don't watch and look at the way the team is, it's done. I don't play that space because I know this game can humble you big time.
Coach, mine is a little bit away from the match. There's a document from SAFA that talks about the sort of regulations for foreign coaches coming to the country.
Oh.
It says here that from August 2024, the guy or the lady must have a UEFA Pro, a CAF A, minimum 5 years experience as a head coach, and they must have won a trophy in the last 7 years. I know, you know, it may still fresh for you, but what do you think of this kind of things? Because South Africans have always had a thing where we've got an influx of foreign coaches here who really does not add much value to our game.
Does it stipulate what trophy? Any trophy? Oh, any trophy. Oh, it's a very important question, that one. So I don't want to get into that space yet. Maybe I should go through the document. I haven't seen the document. It should be. Can you get me a copy of the document, please, sir? And maybe once I've gone through the document, I can give you a very good response. Yeah, man. Discovery.
Yes, Coach. 8 points on top of the log with 3 games in hand. You could easily be 20 points clear by the end of the first round, and this has been the trend for some time now. how hard or easy is it for you as the technical team to keep the players focused, grounded, and hungry every time they go out on the football
pitch? It's not easy. This group deserves a lot more plaudits. I sometimes get emotional when I think about what this group has done. I compare sometimes, for an example, with some of the top teams on the continent. I look at where Wydad is in their domestic league and in the Champions League. I look at where Al Ahly is second, and I look at the number of points they've accumulated, 5. I look at Esperance. And I say to myself, my goodness, things could be a lot worse, And yet, it's crazy sometimes when a draw against Pyramids sometimes feels like a loss. And I ask myself, when did we get here? When did we get to a point where we feel entitled to being number 1 on the log with so many games, to feel entitled to winning every single match? When did we get here? And football heritage is exactly what I was talking about with Manchester United. You are entitled in this world, even in just basically in life in general. You are entitled to nothing. You've got to earn everything that you get, and the moment you start to get to that space, you are in big trouble. You're in big trouble. So we've got to appreciate and appreciate that this team is sitting on top of the log in the domestic competition. We are number 1 in our log in a very difficult group in the Champions League. And appreciate the amount. We are unbeaten in 11 wins in a row. Tell me when that has been done in South African football. So some of these things, sometimes I look, I check, I say, it's difficult. But so I guess you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You win the AFL, and all of a sudden now you've got the expectation to win every single match. It's not possible. You can't. In football, you win, you lose, or you draw. That's the game of football. And when you win, you appreciate the wins and you celebrate the wins because you don't own them. And when you draw, you appreciate that you didn't lose. And when you lose, you dust yourself up and you get back and you shake hands and you move on. You're not entitled to winning, and that's life in general. Just life in general. You don't succeed at everything that you try to do in your lives. So very proud of this group, what they do, and as I say this thing all the time in this press conference. This group is not appreciated the way it should be appreciated. But I suppose generational blessings are only appreciated later on in life, and we'll look back 20 years from now and we'll say, my goodness, we were extremely privileged to be part of such an amazing period and such an amazing time. So, but that's life, isn't it? So we go on and we just keep trying to do what we are doing. It's tough with the injuries we have, the schedule that we have, and we just keep going on. No complaints, no whinging, no whining. We just keep going, and we just have to just keep going. No pity parties. We don't feel sorry for ourselves. We just have to keep going.
Coach, when you sign Nasib, before the ceiling rising, a lot has happened since then. He's injured a lot. But when you guys did sign him, a lot of the clubs across the continent were genuinely envious of you guys. What he's done at youth level and for Ethiopia's national team. Is he still on the same trajectory for you? He's still big part of your plans, because things do happen. Injuries can really store development and even regress a player because of a long period inactive.
Yeah, but regression is not always a bad thing. The analogy of a bow and arrow is sometimes to even go further than what people expect, you've got to pull even further back. And he's just unfortunate, Nasir. And there's a lot of reasons if you really review where he comes from, the type of intensity, the type of games that he was used to playing. It's the same with Lucas. I mean, Lucas Ribeiro, for an example, is not used to this volume of games. Marcelo Allende, the intensity, the physicality. So when players come in, there's always going to be an adaptation phase. And you don't know how long that adaptation phase is. But one thing you are 100% certain is it's not linear. It may turn a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and if you are lucky a little bit, you move a little bit more forward than you do backwards. And unfortunately for Nasir, he's had to encounter a couple of setbacks, but it doesn't even help that the language is a barrier, So we're trying to get him into that space, and the culture is completely different. But he's definitely, for me, still a top talent. He has all the attributes to be one of the best strikers on this continent, and he's still very young. He's got age on his side, and he needs a lot more support. We've got to give him support. Him and his family. His family has just moved now and into South Africa, so hopefully that now stabilizes him a little bit, and he's recovered from his injuries. He played today, and we were precautious a little bit to not extend more than 45 minutes. So we're trying to take it step by step with him. But yeah, top talent, and I think we'll reap the rewards later. As Sundowns, we'll reap the rewards later. But we've got to be a bit patient. He's still young. He's 23 Nasir, if I'm not mistaken, still. So that's still a very good age, and he's got all the weapons. He scores goals. He showed in Ethiopia. He's got speed. He dribbles, and when you have those three big weapons as an attacking player, you've got incredible weapons, and hopefully he shows that potential.
Coach, when you look at it could be athletes all over the world who have proven to be better than most or greater than most, and teams as well. When they go on, you find someone who has won 2 league titles, and then you win 5 more in that space, and they don't win anything. All these other opponents, now you're used to them, or the fear factor is there. They're not competing at the level that you are at. And so that leads to my question to say, when you beat all the 11 that you play against, and just leave out the Champions League or the AFL in the PSL, and all these teams, even when the coach of Cape Town Spurs comes here and says, we were not unlucky, these guys are dominant, and this has been said so many times before. And in the beginning of the season, I always talked about how you would have 3 times the number of passes that the opponent would have, or the chances or the experience. What then do you start competing against? Do you compete against this guy that, obviously you're saying you're not entitled, but at the back of your mind you're always thinking, we can beat this guy? Or do you compete with the level that you think you can still reach, that maybe you're just scratching and you're trying to get to? What becomes your biggest competitors as Sundowns?
It's a very good question. It's a very, very good question, actually, because our mentality is a mentality that we adopt, which speaks about a growth mindset. And I was speaking to the players the other day, and I was saying to them, there's what you call, and they use it a lot in American football and in basketball, to measure talent. They call it the capability gap. And the capability gap is your potential in relation to what you're currently producing. And so we try to measure that and try to take stock every single match. We do corrections, we analyze, we check, we sit down, we talk, and we are very honest with where we are in relation where we think we can get to. And that goes from an individual perspective with individual performances, where we want a lot of accountability, we give a lot of responsibility, and also one of the most important things that I think helps a little bit is when football players or maybe even athletes, and if you look at, you speak about it now, you look at some of the most successful athletes, they have one very common and it's a very distinct and really very small characteristic, and not a lot of people possess, is self-awareness. Is the ability to be extremely honest with yourself as to what am I capable of producing in relation to where I am. And sometimes I am closer, sometimes I'm a little bit further, but you need very good self-awareness and good honesty to be able to say where really am I in relation to my capabilities. And then the gap, is it bigger or larger? What else do I need to do? And that speaks to now being coachable, to being able to listen to the coach when he says you've got to improve A, B, C, D, E, F. And that's what separates sometimes some of the greats from the rest of you. And you see these stories. You see these stories of how some of you go to golf. Tiger Woods, there's someone that is, whether at the beginning or even towards the twilight of his career, that is saying, this is, you've got to push, and this is the swing that you now have to. And you go to tennis. I watched a movie on the flight once with the Williams sisters, and you see how the father was the one that was saying, hey, you are here, but your potential is here, and you keep raising the level, and you keep demanding it. And this, I think, is probably one of the things that I'm trying to educate the players on is a lot of self-awareness. Is you have to understand where you are, what you're producing, and be accountable for your performance and for your growth, and then compare it to what you feel together you are capable of doing. And I think we are in that space where we measure ourselves in relation not only to the level of the opposition, but in relation to what we feel is our potential as a group, but then also a microscopic zooming out of individual performances that say where is player A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and collectively where can we get this group to go. So I hope I've answered your question, because I think I've gone this way around.
You make me think of something else. Does it make it easier then, the self-awareness, when you now tell a player that they must do 1, 2, 3 to get better, that they actually grasp it without saying this guy is too demanding, this guy is too difficult and too hard on me?
Yes, it's easier to work with, but that's why I always say to you that I prefer working with good human beings, because good human beings are able to reflect, and it's not easy to reflect because you've got to be honest with yourself. And this group is a group of players that are good human beings, and therefore they take stock of some of the things, and that's why I say even it's a pity, because even the younger ones, they need a lot of coaching, they need a lot of training, they need a lot of work on the training pitch. It's something I don't have the luxury of at the moment. I must tell you, I'm less of a coach this season, and I'm more of a manager. I manage training minutes, volume, intensity, game minutes. So I have to do more managing than I have to do coaching, which is something I don't like, because I consider myself more of a coach than a manager, because I like seeing players improve. I like to help players get better. But this is work in progress, and I suppose step by step we'll get there, and hopefully the players can continue on this way. It takes a lot of humility, though, to have that. Self-awareness comes with a lot of other characteristics, personality traits. But as I say, this is where we are, and that's what we try to do as much as we can.
Friends, do you still have a question?
I really feel bad because we kept the coach, but Coach, Peter just pulled away from Maputi now, his second highest top goal scorer in PSL history.
Amazing.
13 goals away from being the all-time leading scorer in the PSL era. How blessed are you to have a player like that?
I'm blessed to coach this group. I say it every single day. No, seriously, I'm extremely fortunate to be the coach at Mamelodi Sundowns with this type of group. I'm extremely fortunate. And Peter, I arrested some of the players, and I said, stay away, I don't want to see you. Peter says, no, I'm coming to training. Tebo Mokwena said the same thing. I said, please, can you just stay home and look after your son? And he says, no, I'm coming to training. So this is the type of group that I have, So I'm extremely lucky and extremely fortunate because they love football and they want to play football, and very proud of Peter. But of course, these type of achievements someone must give you an assist. I don't think in those goals I remember quite a lot of free kicks and penalties. It's true. Somebody must give Peter the pass to score. So the reality is, what he's achieved is not only just about him, but also about the contribution of the collective. There's teammates that have supplied him with passes and have created these chances. I mean, today's goal, Lebu's cross was unbelievable. He attempted 3 crosses, Lebu. The other one he put in the air, and I was upset. The second one he puts, Peter couldn't connect. He could have used the left foot instead of the right, but he did the movements. And Peter is such an amazing human being. I must tell you, I've never seen such a focused and I really don't even have the words. Peter prays for this team, and when we're looking for people to pray, where's Peter? Even when I'm going through difficulties, I sometimes pick up the phone and I say, please pray for me, put me in your prayers, because it seems like God, he has a direct line to God. Peter is extremely blessed, but it's a reflection of the type of person he is. He's a good human being, and it validates the statement that I always say, that good footballers need to be good people, because then you correlate with the universe. They say when you're a good person, you work with the universe. You don't work against the universe, because the universe has an ecosystem, has a way of functioning. The sun doesn't say, oh, it's December and I've been shining every day and rising for the last 3 billion years, so today I'm tired. The sun still comes. So it's people like Peter, they still understand that they've got a responsibility to the universe. They've got to inspire certain people, and they make me not only a better coach, but also they make me a better human being, because I learn from them. And so long may it continue, and I wish him all the best, Peter. I think without the injuries last season and this season, maybe we would be talking that he's probably already the top goal scorer in the history of the Premier League in South Africa. But I think with this group that he has, and the teammates around him and the coaches around him, and at this football club, I'm sure 100% he'll definitely surpass that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, gentlemen.